Well, I think the cool part is that it's really a two-step evolution. Like step one is you have to solve crime. So if you look at all of the primary research on the topic, so not my opinion, but what academics have studied, you would think that there is a correlation between the punitive system, like how much penalty there is to committing a crime, and the likelihood of happening. But there's actually no correlation. You see, like the average criminal is a youth. It's 16 to 24 years old. You have an undeveloped brain. You make decisions in Boolean logic, whether yes or no. And so what the studies have shown is that as soon as you believe you will get caught, crime goes down. And so in cities like where we are right now in Cobb County, in Smyrna, Georgia, you will most likely get caught if you commit a nonviolent crime. So guess what? Their crime's on the decline. So they are living in the future. Unfortunately, other cities haven't caught up to that. So that's step one, is like solve a lot of crime. Step two then is crime starts to go down. So let's give it 5 to 7 years.
You ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up?
Crime.
You know that feeling? The whole country's like 1 inch away from saying, that's it, forget it.
I love this song. Yeah.
Let's get one thing straight. Guns don't kill people.
Israel has never had a better friend than President Donald J. Trump.
Gold jacket, green jacket, who gives a
I think some apologies are in order.
I had legit anxiety that we weren't going to hit the chorus because that chorus is so good. I was like, I'm going to make him start over if we don't hear the chorus.
I knew you would, dude. I actually think that one part of that song where he goes "why" is kind of like I could do without that.
Yes,
I almost
but
don't
that's
like
the
that
genius
part
of the song.
Yes,
the genius.
Because then when the chorus comes in, you're just like, "Holy shit! This chorus is amazing."
Mm-hmm.
I know. Dude, I made.
That's why every couple of years, when you're younger, you date a really ugly girl.
What do you mean when you're younger?
or for your whole life.
Just every couple of years. Unless you're married, we don't condone that.
Correct.
That's my favorite Duran Duran song.
Is it?
It has been since I was a little kid.
It's a great song.
So good.
Yeah, great band.
Yes,
full of hits.
Tons.
Yeah.
And
you guys ever heard of the Southeast Asian cover band?
No.
Are they Thai?
That was a joke. I feel a punchline.
Yeah. Let's go. How big are they? Did you guys watch the
fights?
Netflix fights?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes.
Well, I didn't. How were they?
Well, they're not a threat to the UFC.
Why not?
Well,
It's just,
I mean,
I noticed that. It's just like,
that's how it's kind of pitched.
It's like kind of janky.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
overproduced. It's got that ass clown Ariel Helwani.
And
they're Joe Rogan. And they're like trying to,
because the organization is one of the Paul brothers, right?
Yes,
Jake. Yeah,
Jake Paul, and that guy that you're talking about.
No, he's just like their commentator. Ariel Helwani is like he's like the MMA podcast guy, has been for a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the bald guy with the shaved head. And
okay, I don't know.
Yeah, and I was thinking while we were watching it, I was just like, they would have benefited by doing something totally different, except trying to just kind of mimic exactly what the UFC does.
I was thinking that too.
They had like their version of Bruce Buffer, their version of Joe Rogan. Like it was in the cards, no disrespect to anyone, but I mean, who
pulling a lot of people out of
wants
retirement?
to see like Ronda Rousey?
well,
fight?
yeah. I mean, that was the only. I mean, that was the. What did the fight of the two legends. I mean, I get it for what it was kind of pitched as, I think. But as far as
but they're old,
right? And it's not going to garner the audience.
I'll watch it at
Those
IHOP
type of fights. Yeah, bringing old vets, retired vets to fight is not going to put the UFC.
it's not exciting.
It was like kind of like
Well, it was 17
they're like
seconds,
legacy
too.
fights.
Yeah,
We
legacy,
had,
that was the word.
Like a BMF fight, Mike Perry, Nate Diaz, and I just thought while I was watching, I'm a huge fan of the Diaz brothers. Like always, just love the way that they fight.
Yeah.
So I was rooting for Nate Diaz, and Mike Perry is just a violent psychopath.
Yes.
And just tore him apart pretty easily.
Yeah.
And by the time that fight ended, and my wife was like, "Oh, you bummed you lost?" I was like, "These guys got so much money. Like they're both, you know what I mean? They both won. You know what I mean? And that's what this whole thing. It's just a big money maker.
Yes.
And then so I'm like jaded going into the Ronda Rousey fight, and she goes, "Who do you want to win this?" I'm like, I don't care, but what's going to happen is she's going to get it by armbar. She did it in like 14 seconds.
17
She
seconds.
goes, "How did you call that?" I was like, I've seen this before.
Not a single punch thrown. One kick, and it was over.
She and Gina Carano is like ecstatic. Like, she probably cleared $6 million or whatever, didn't take a single punch. I'm like, dude, like, there's no loser in this fight. It's just a giant money grab. And then I ended up going like, why do I watch any of this shit? Like, it's all like, UFC is like kind of the same thing. It's just this huge pomp and circumstance and just dog and pony show, and everyone's making like shit tons of money.
Well, that's kind of like how
one of the UFC's.
But like,
Well,
the big production fights.
Kamzat Strickland fight too, for all the hype of the bad blood between those two. Immediately when they touched gloves twice before the opening bell, I'm like, oh, this was just a fight cell because
They don't actually hate each other. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was thinking that because I was watching some of the prelims. I was thinking like, man, they even went with the cage and everything. Like they should have done like.
That was a hexagon.
They had a hexagon.
It was a hexagon. No, I didn't. Don't get them confused now.
So they did mix it up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
They got the Big Mac. We got the Big Mick.
We got the golden arches. We got the golden arcs. Like they should have done ropes, like in Pride or something.
Yeah.
Like really make it stand out.
I think they should hold them like in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven.
Absolutely. In that they should hold it in under that overpass in the water with
Yes.
the water on the ground.
Yeah.
Like in that one fight that
Loose
Jake was-
pit bull running in the background.
Well, have you seen the Russian MMA fights? They are pretty much like that. They're
I've
in
seen the ones that
parking garages on concrete.
Is that the
and
ones with no rules?
no rules? You can eye gouge.
That is so gnarly.
there's another one that I've been following. It's forest fights.
Ah.
It's where like two groups of like 6 dudes meet in the forest and just fucking fight.
Really?
It's pretty awesome.
Is that sanctioned?
In Russia, everything's sanctions.
All right. Well, I'm sure you guys are familiar with this little number that's coming up. Wait for it.
America was built on bold ideas.
Gotta hate the UFC. They put a copyright claim on this video for playing their advertisement. We're giving them free advertising for their event at the White House, and they felt the need to block our video. So, sorry.
The boldest idea in sports history. And the idea is what? Having an event
At the White
at
House.
the White House? Like,
Wait,
whoa, hold on.
No.
You can't do that.
Russian car grappling. That is a bold idea. That's the boldest idea in
Thank
sports
you.
history.
Is the ball?
It better be, because that's the reason why Trump got another assassination attempt.
Clearly.
It better be done, or else there's going to be some serious security breaches.
What a bunch of fucking clowns. Like, they must know that the only reason that someone would actually want to play one of their advertisements on another podcast or in another venue is to make fun of them, because they are a ridiculous organization. They have so little skill in the entertainment industry. The only reason they even exist is because they had a large influx of cheap money and they were able to buy up all their competition. But even the biggest fans of the UFC know that the previous fight venues were 1,000 times better than the UFC. They are such a joke. Dana White is a fucking clown.
History is made by revolutionary ideas, it says. I don't understand what's so revolutionary.
I was going to say, is like, people are making such a big deal about this. I'm like, it's like, who cares?
Well, the name of it is Freedom 250. That's the name of the event. And the 250...
America's birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But are they having it on the 4th of July? No. When are they having it?
I don't know. I haven't retained that information.
They're having it on June 14th. Trump's birthday.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Like, what the fuck? What a tacky motherfucker. It's like, so we have a couple of dates. We were thinking maybe, I don't know, 4th of July. Yeah.
Wow.
Or we could do it on, let's see, June 14th is a Sunday, so we could do it then. Oh, yeah, no, that's the date. Yeah, obviously that's the more important date here. We're going to do it on my birthday because it's all about me.
God, that guy's such an asshat.
I know. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yes. Flag Day also.
June 14th?
Yeah. You knew that, right?
Wait, was it something else before, or did he change that?
Yeah, it used to be the 13th. Yep. So, got that to look forward to.
It is a good card.
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje is probably my favorite fighter to watch.
He's fun to watch.
He's just a maniac.
Totally.
Well, he's kind of abandoned the leg kicks.
I know. I was just thinking about, I think you and I were talking about this. His World Series of Fighting, I think, his second match with Luis Palermo, and he just beat him on leg kicks, and the guy just eventually fell over, and with this look on his face, he was like, I don't want to fight anymore. And Justin goes like this, like, we're still fighting.
We're not done.
And the look on his face.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's got like those old school Jose Aldo type of leg kicks where he just goes all in. It was such a big part of his game, and then the last 2 or 3 fights.
Yeah, I stopped doing them.
There's got to be so many moments during a professional fight where your brain is just saying, like, let's just quit. Right? Like,
you don't want to be here either.
No,
right?
This is a good point to quit. You're on the ground. It hurts. Just stay down here.
We're nice and warmed up. We haven't walked out yet. It won't be a big deal. Why don't we just go get a steak?
Yeah. I want to talk about something that was brought to my attention recently. But before I do, I just had to share this clip with you guys. This is Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, making a very important announcement.
Well, look, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. When you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, a residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them engage in some stock trading.
No way. Are you serious?
I'm so glad I went to the church this morning. I'm just getting so irritated right now.
I can't believe he actually said that out loud.
These poor public servants.
They had to have 2 houses, some of these guys.
They're only making $176,000 a year. To get quality people to take that job.
Public service.
To take this job of serving the public. Right. You got to pay them more money, or at least let them do some little backdoor stock trading.
little side hustle that would kill anyone.
Kill you? I love how his reasoning too is with inflation, inflation's been, which we had nothing to do with.
Oh, that's rich.
Yeah.
That's
How about you give us the value of our money back, and then we can have this conversation after you fucking stole it by printing it and giving it to all of your friends. Fucking asshole.
No.
Want
to go back?
No. All right. So in Santa Rosa, where we live, there are flock cameras. Lots of them.
Flock safety.
Flock safety cameras. That is the actual name of these cameras, because the reason that these cameras exist is for your safety. And if you're not familiar with what they are solar-powered cameras, solar backup cameras, just in case the power goes out. Got to make sure the surveillance cameras are still working.
Or Bill Gates blocks out the sun.
Which they talked about shutting off this weekend in Sonoma County.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
They're going to shut off the power in Sonoma and Napa.
This weekend. Why?
The heat wave we're experiencing.
It's warm outside because it's
wind.
It's
78 degrees.
It's summertime. I think they call it. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Make sure you buy an electric car though.
Yes.
So these cameras are surveillance cameras that are put up all over town. They pick some intersections and then they catch you coming and going every single direction. And the reason that they have these up there is because it makes it easier for cops to catch criminals.
It makes us safer. Like the Patriot Act.
Yes. I mean, it does. You can't really argue with that. It does. It makes crime go down.
Yeah.
And it makes policing easier.
If I drove 5 miles an hour all the time, I would never, ever get in a car wreck.
This is true. Unless you were going backwards. That'd be riskier.
You'd experience a hell of a lot of
fair point. Not sure why you made it, but I'll give you the win.
All right. So let's jump over here. This gentleman in Colorado might differ with your opinion on the safety value of flock cameras.
Tonight, we get a little glimpse into the dystopian future. A Coloradan keeps getting...
I got to say, before we watch any more of this anchor here, the fact that he called this a dystopian future is awesome.
Yes.
I like this guy.
I want to talk about this because there is... We'll get there.
What you would expect the news anchor to say is like be completely on board with the program, the system, as you've talked about before, defending the immunity of the system itself.
Yes.
But no, he's like, we got a glimpse into a dystopian future that we're all
misinformation is a danger to our democracy.
Right.
Well, I have a feeling he'll be losing his job like Ben Swan did when he talked about Pizzagate.
Well, then he's a fucking patriot.
Pulled over because flock surveillance cameras tell police he has an active warrant. He doesn't. But he can't convince the surveillance network to leave him alone. Our Spencer Soysher has that.
I continually am getting pulled over. I can't really use my truck in any fashion.
Kyle made sure his dash cam was recording.
Looks pretty guilty
yesterday
to me.
After Cherry Hills Village police officers pulled him over near the same area Saturday.
Hello. Oh, we got you last week.
Yeah.
For the warrant.
Oh. I was driving through here yesterday, and I got pulled over again. It was actually by the same officer. You need my license?
No.
Okay.
I remember you, man.
Okay.
The Cherry Hills Village police say the Gilpin County Sheriff has a warrant out with Kyle's plate, and it was put on a flock camera hot list.
Everywhere in the state, every time I pass a camera, they get alerts in their car that I'm in the area.
The flock cameras did alert to his license plate being associated to a warrant.
Cherry Hills Village Police Chief Jason Lyon says when anyone with a warrant passes one of their flock cameras, they get an alert, but that Kyle doesn't actually have a warrant.
Nobody should be stopped when there's no legitimate law enforcement purpose for that.
Kyle has called both the Gilpin County courts and sheriff's office to get off the list, but they've told him he needs to know who the warrant is for, which nobody can tell him. The chief said Cherry Hills has now taken Kyle off its flock hot list, but he can't remove Kyle from everyone else's. He believes the issue is because of a 0 in Kyle's license plate number, and Colorado license plates have both O's and zeros. And sometimes when law enforcement communicates with the DMV about a warrant, they put in a warrant for both versions, the plate with an O and then the version with a 0 as well.
Why is it this dude's problem to get it fixed? And like, what's he supposed to do?
So I just heard back from the Gilpin County Sheriff that somehow
They told
this is
him
actually a Colorado State Patrol warrant.
He needed
mismarked through the
to figure out why he has a warrant
out
for him, even though it's their fucking mistake.
He goes, I don't have a warrant.
Right.
How do I get rid of something
that
I don't have?
That hero anchor's like, why is it this dude's responsibility to figure this out? Like, stop fucking pulling him over.
Yeah.
And so it's just like everything that we complain about with AI. Like, AI sucks.
Yes.
It sucks at everything.
We're going to get there. I did fucking pretty decent dive on this stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
their robot overlords have made a mistake, and there's just nothing you can do about it. It reminds me so much of that movie Brazil, when there's just like this one little typo that happens or I can't remember, a bug gets squashed on a piece of paperwork, and so they go to the wrong house and they kidnap the wrong guy, and when they go into the house, they just bust through the door, throw the guy in a bag, zip him up, and like suck him out, and his wife and kids are like, "What are you doing?" And it's just like the most like horrible dystopian thing.
I'm just thankful they didn't have these when I was in my 20s. I wouldn't be able to drive down the street.
Because of all the warrants you had?
Oh, yeah.
I saw another video of a guy that, same technology, but facial recognition had picked him up and told the cops he had a warrant. They took him in there, and they're like, "You have this warrant." He goes, "That's not me. I'm not that guy." They're like, "Here's my license. Here's my registration." Cuffed him, stuffed him, took him down there. He goes, "I don't know what to tell you." He goes, "It's 100% match with our facial recognition software." And he goes, "That's all well and good, but I'm not that guy. Like, that's not my name. I'm not from there. I've never been to where you're talking about. I've never committed that crime." And they're like, "Well, it's 100% match." And the dude actually handled it right. He's just sitting there laughing. He goes, "What's your badge number and name?" He goes, "Okay, thank you. Great." He's like, "I'm going to sue the shit out of you guys." He was just like laughing about it. He's just like, "Oh my God."
Totally. I hope that
Which we will pay for as taxpayers.
Yeah, he deserves it.
He will win in court.
If he started a GoFundMe, I'd send him some money.
Yes.
Yeah, he deserves it. I was talking to a buddy of mine who's a cop about the cameras, and he's sympathetic to liberty. And he told me, he's like, it does make it easier for us to catch criminals.
Yeah.
It's like,
no one's arguing that.
I know that.
Yeah.
But what is the ideal amount of crime in a society? Like, Derek, what would you say the ideal amount of crime that you could have in an ideal society?
Oh, an ideal society?
Yeah.
Would be zero.
No. Because in order for it to be zero, you would have to have every single moment of every single person's life surveilled to stop every single crime from ever happening. I mean, we all commit crimes every day.
Well, is it a crime if no one catches you?
Well, that's the kind of society that I would like to live in. But the ideal amount is not zero, because the trade-off for having zero crime is so great that it would not make life worth living.
Bring on
those who would trade liberty for security deserve neither.
Let's bring on the Minority Report stuff then. It's pre-crime.
Exactly. A pre-crime
great documentary.
Yeah. That's exactly what we're going towards with these flock cameras is pre-crime. Right? Because they will catch you doing things that are suspicious, and then no probable cause, but you're doing something that's suspicious. Now you are in the system. Now they're going to watch and see what you do. And a friend of ours just told me a story the other day about somebody that was pulled over and had they had illegal contraband in their vehicle, and they had it seized. But it was because they were traveling some long distance repeatedly that the cops started watching them. They were acting suspicious.
Yeah, they had a pattern,
and then they pulled them over.
That's what this technology does. Is it it establishes patterns in the algorithm, and when you break outside of those patterns, it draws attention.
Right,
and it trips the algorithm, and the AI tells them like, "Hey, something's different about this guy."
Right.
Which should be terrifying.
It's terrifying because the probable cause is not that you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
It's that you're acting suspicious.
Well, do you know what Flock...
According to a fucking robot, by the way.
Yes. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. Do you know what Flock originally did? They were data mining for air travel. And what it did is it compiled, basically profiled. Anytime you made an airline reservation, it'd create a profile for you and then give you what was, it gets into predictive policing. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have heard this.
Yeah.
Pre-crime. And they would assess you a threat score based on that profile. So based on like whatever behavior you were doing.
Like buying a one-way ticket.
Yes.
Apparently terrorists.
Or learning how to
don't figure out
get
that
a plane to take off but not land. Something like that. And the algorithms would give you what they call a predictive threat score. Now, what's getting dangerous here, because you're talking about how the AI sucks, is that now if you have an inordinately high predictive threat score, which you do, and so do I, is there's no recourse, because you'd go like, oh, so why did you guys haul me into this room and why are you interrogating me? It's like, well, we've established kind of a pattern where you argue with our agents. He said some pretty outlandish stuff online. We see that you like guns, like it tripped some red flags. Now they can't, because now they've switched all the way to AI. You can't, you're like, why do I have such a high threat score? Like,
we don't know.
I don't know. That's what the computer said, which is interesting because that's the same, answer to the question of like, so why did you guys bomb that school in Iran and kill 160 school children? Just this thing just goes haywire every once in a while. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's not just, the danger isn't just with AI making a mistake on
that's just one part
of who
it.
you are.
Yes.
There's also the danger of misuse by the cops. So police, listen to this.
Like looking up your ex-girlfriend's plate 200 times in a month, for example. That lying bitch up to now.
This is from the Institute for Justice. Police have reportedly used license plate readers to stalk romantic interests at least 16 times in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
Across the United States, communities are rethinking their use of flock cameras and other automated license plate reader ALPR systems, and in many cases ending them completely. Concerns about privacy, security, and always-on government surveillance are driving these changes, especially as new police technologies test the limits of the Fourth Amendment. The proliferation of police surveillance has led to repeated abuse. One shockingly common form, police officers using ALPR camera networks to keep tabs on their romantic interests, including current partners, exes, and even strangers who unwittingly caught their eye in the public.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Fucking.
And they found out that some of these cameras, I think they nailed down to 60 that they were very easily were managed to trace, were live streaming to the internet with no passcode, no anything, so anyone could watch it. So basically, people were just logging onto there and just like watching this camera and watching, following people on there.
Whoops.
Truman Show. Another documentary.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the CEO of Flock. Garrett Langley.
Yeah. I'd like to talk about this guy.
Here's a clip about him. I didn't capture it in this clip. I wish I had, but the very first part of the interview that this guy, Thomas Brewster, does with Garrett Langley, he says something like, oh, it's warm in here. And the interviewer says, oh, it's warm in here because they're in the Flock warehouse. And Garrett Langley's like, yeah, it's hot. That's what happens when you're making industry happen or something like that. Like super like cringy, like snarky, like, why are you browbeating this guy? He's just interviewing you. Like, no one's questioning you. Yes, you have a job. Good for you.
Of Flock Safety, a $7.5 billion company founded by Georgia Tech alum CEO Garrett Langley.
By the way, that bumper sticker that you saw,
paving the way for someone. Yes,
that said the devil wears a suit and tie. Mm-hmm. It's wrong. The devil wears a fucking t-shirt. All of these motherfuckers have to show up in a t-shirt. Like, they can't dress nice for an interview or to go to work. They can't, actually act like they are an adult. They all have to be in these fucking skin-tight t-shirts.
His company offers AI that can help cops locate cars and people, built on a network of over 80,000 cameras spread across 49 states in the US. They also have American-made drones and gunshot detection systems, as well as a new tool called Nova that brings together masses of police surveillance data into one app. Using Flock today, it's possible to search any kind of car, whether by license plate number or by unique details. A cop can, for instance, search all blue BMWs in a given locale, and Flock's cameras will find them. The company's origin story stems from Langley's personal experience with organised crime in his Atlanta neighbourhood, when he learned that most property crimes were going unpunished. Believing cops needed a better technology to track criminals as they moved around American cities, Garrett and his colleagues built an early version of the Flock license plate recognition technology.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. So, remember we talked about, like, if you kind of zoom out of things and you put everything on the same canvas and you kind of look at it, and then you just kind of look back and go like, does this all make sense? Think back to our, what are the chances Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? Or the official 9/11 narrative? Or
1 times 10
seconds.
Power.
Yeah, 10 seconds of the Jussie Smollett story. You're like, what are we doing? As I was doing a kind of a dive on how Flock got started, and it was so hilarious, like on brand. Okay, so we're gonna back up. So think about this. Like we had LifeLog, the CIA program. Do you guys remember what LifeLog was?
It's the precursor to
Yeah,
Facebook.
Well,
literally the same day that LifeLog.
Right.
And it was like the everyday thing, and they could track physical movement and consumer habits, your media consumption, all of your communication, everything. It would track everything.
And people would voluntarily post pictures in their whereabouts.
This came out of DARPA, which comes out of the Pentagon. Now we know the Pentagon literally has unlimited funds. Right. Like they would literally print the money and just give it to them. And they also have 2 sets of books, thanks to the Federal Financing and Accounting Standards 56.
Yeah.
And just wild hunch. The books they're showing us are probably not worse than the ones that they have.
Well, they've never.
I'm just
right.
Just shot in the dark. All
They've
right?
never passed an audit.
They've never passed an audit. Yeah. And so here we are with DARPA, unlimited funds, and creating this intelligence thing. And then they go like, we just can't quite put the finishing touches on this. And they shut it down February 4th, 2004.
February 5th, 2004.
No, February 4th. I double checked it.
No, but then February 5th, Facebook came out, right?
No, February 4th.
Oh, the same day?
The same day. They couldn't wait a day.
Stop.
No one thought to go like, could we wait like a week?
It was the exact same day?
Same day.
Oh, my God.
Yes. And so then we get Facebook, which does the exact
They
same
should
thing.
have done it the day before.
And we're
Because then they would have been like, no. We were starting well before they shut down.
Would have been
24 hours before they shut down.
Yeah. And we're supposed to believe like, okay, we have group A here with literally however much money they need, they can print it and give it to them and to get everything, get this thing created and get it started. And then we have company B or guy B sitting alone in his dorm room in Harvard, does the exact same thing and seems to be able to pull it off. And then we have this like face of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, weird looking white dude, you know what I mean? Innocent looking, you know what I mean?
Not too dissimilar than Garrett Langley.
Exactly. And then you go take another program, Palantir, Peter Thiel and, what's the other guy? Alex Karp. And it's basically a data mining company that's going to collect everyone's data, have data centers. And it was all, you look back, you're like, oh, this was all funded through In-Q-Tel, the venture capital of the CIA. And you go like, well, the CIA were trying to get all these programs going. They couldn't quite do it. And then these 2 guys kind of got together and
just figured it out.
Just kind of figured it out. And then we go like, okay, what's another one? Like weather manipulation. And like you go, 10 years ago, people say like, you're out of your mind. They're like, well, you have to look at things like Operation Popeye. Started in 1967. They wanted to flood the Ho Chi Minh Valley and flush the Viet Cong out. I'm all, that's weather manipulation. And those files are declassified, like, by the way. Because remember, that was supposed to be a wild conspiracy.
Yeah.
And then we get the same kind of thing. It's like, we get like the floods in Texas. And we go like, we're supposed to believe this guy, Augustus Dorico, 24 years old, came up with the idea, sitting around one day going like, I just want to save the world somehow. You know what? I'm going to start a company just from scratch right here. Just me. I'm 20 years old right now. And it'll be called Rainmaker. And we're going to make rain and I'll kind of like figure this thing out.
Yeah, just bootstrap it.
Yeah, and you got this 24-year-old guy, innocent looking. He's got a mullet for some reason. And he's like, yeah, he just kind of did this whole thing himself. And you look at Flock, same thing. You look at the origins of Flock.
No.
This dude, Garrett Langley, he goes, they kind of briefly mention it right there. They're like, it was him and some friends sitting at his dining room table. And they just were talking about crime statistics, which is like what friends do when they hang out having dinner. And he goes, yeah, and then next thing you know, our little wild idea, we started building these cameras from scratch on the dining room table, same place where we had the conversation. And next thing you know, our little engine that could, you know what I mean? Like is worth $7.5 billion and has no big contracts all over the entire world. And we're supposed to buy that? and you got to, dude, even your most mask wearing, like boosted tin cat having fucking pussy hat wearing NPC boot licking fucking white woman would go like, what they're doing is every 3-letter agency's wet dream.
Yep.
It's like, I can't even, we won't even go into the amount of programs that the CIA, the DHS, the Pentagon, DARPA, that just dealt with like surveillance. And they just could never quite pull it off. And this guy and his friends at his dining room table just seemed to pull it off somehow.
Well, it's a free market, Matt.
Well, it's like Palmer.
Private business, so.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why we need to get government out of the private industry.
Well, it's like Palmer Luckey. I mean,
Yes.
the guy who created the autonomous military drones with his Anduril Industries, like just another young guy who created this super high-tech military drone surveillance system.
It's not that hard if you just put your nose to the grindstone and you really just work hard at your dining room table.
Next thing you know, I came up with the Hepsora software, and that's what the military is using to bomb Gaza and have a genocide.
Well, it's interesting. You can't FOIA request any of these because they're non-government entities.
And the point,
That's
yes,
a good point.
And the point I'm bringing up is every single, Rainmaker, Palantir, Oracle, Flock, Facebook, they all have this same kind of like origin story of just some like clean cut, fresh looking white kid who comes up with this idea and does the thing that the government entity with unlimited funds was doing at the same time, but couldn't seem to finish. But this guy could in his dorm room.
They couldn't figure it out.
Yes.
Despite the unlimited funds and all the bright minds.
And so I think it's done as like an optical, like a psyop. So when you go, you tell people like, do you know what Bill Gates has really done? He paralyzed a bunch of children in India, and he sterilized half the women in Africa, and he's trying to block out the sun. And they look at him doing the TED Talks. They're like, the guy in the glasses and sweater vest? No.
Not him.
No.
It was like Bezos coming up with Amazon in his garage.
Exactly. Yeah. Same origin story, like every time.
Well, it was either his stepdad or his grandfather who was one of the founders of DARPA.
I think, fortunately, what you said about
either that or you played for the Doors or something.
Right. Of course.
Made it some battleship somewhere. I don't know.
I think what you said about people seeing that this is the 3-letter agency's wet dream, this one is kind of hitting a nerve with people. Facebook
That's what I'm talking about.
is always seen as, everyone's aunt and grandmother are on Facebook and they can see pictures of the kids. Like, you're not going to convince those people that Facebook is a CIA op, even though it makes a lot of sense when you look at it. But fucking solar-powered surveillance cameras that stay on when the power gets shut off, like, that's creepy. And so a lot of cities are actually canceling their contracts.
Yes.
With
and I've watched numerous school board meetings and city council meetings where people are not having this. And
right.
And I think this is a really important thing to think about that I think we'll do some more in the flat camera, but I want to tell you about something really bad that I think is coming.
Is it, well, hold on, let me, there's an organization called DFlock. Have you heard of them?
Mm-mm.
So their whole goal is to get these cameras out of cities. And they have maps where you can see where these cameras are.
Okay, yeah,
in your city.
I have seen those maps.
And they have all sorts of tips on how to go to your city council meeting and how to argue against this. And our boy Garrett Langley, not a fan, as you might imagine.
So, I think there's really two groups of activists. You've got organizations like the ACLU and the EFF who take an above-board approach to fight for their point of view. And thankfully, we live in a beautifully democratic, capitalistic country where we can fight in court. And I have a lot of respect for those groups because they have reasonable debates and we follow the law. And then unfortunately, there's terroristic organizations like DFlock, whose primary motivation is chaos. They are closer to Antifa than they are anything else.
They're Antifa.
And that, I think, is unfortunate.
They're all about chaos. They're not actually concerned about the Fourth Amendment.
Terrorists.
They're terrorists, right? Terrorists. I mean, when you throw around the word terrorist, like, you're actually throwing around a very powerful word. We know what that means in terms
Especially
of...
since the Patriot Act.
Exactly.
To bring it back around.
In terms of, I mean, you can basically go drone strike an American citizen if you want with no trial, no conviction, just because they are a terrorist. So, and the hyperbole there is extreme because I looked through DFLOC. I tried to find any sort of, like, have they done anything violent?
Yeah.
Because what is terrorism? It's using violence to achieve a political means, right?
Yep.
They have not done anything like that. And this, all they're doing is like hurting his business. And this guy's calling them terrorists. And given the close proximity that he has to government organization, armed government organizations, like calling them terrorists is kind of scary. That's going a bit too far, my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah. So go to DFLOC and check out the map and just look and see where they are, like throughout your city.
It's look for our city.
Yeah, it's alarming. Oh, and there's also a cool list on their website. So far, there's 96,851 of these ALPRs in the United States.
Yeah, I know we're 6,000.
Switch to my camera when you get a chance.
There's 67 cities that have rejected the ALPRs. And some big cities on the list.
Speaking of these ALPRs, because there's another with Garrett Langley, I saw another interview where he's talking about, he's like, most of these communities, they don't even know which flock they have. They're on 4.6 right now, I believe.
The model?
The model.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the original ones were the license plate readers, right?
Right.
And they're automated through an algorithm to report back and like just suspicious, like, or flag suspicious activity. Someone going to the store on a day they usually
what
don't.
I'm showing on the screen?
No, go to Jake's screen there.
And then the latest one, they add something.
Can you zoom in on that, Jake?
The latest model, they added something called Raven, which now includes a microphone, which picks up voices and conversations. So they're putting them on like
it is such
trails and stuff like that.
It's such an egregious violation of the Fourth Amendment. I can't believe it's not.
And then if you add this to the Pegasus software, the Israeli Pegasus software, where it can back in through your phone and aggregate those data points, then they could pick you up, facial recognition on a trail, pick up something you say. You got everything from your phone, all your personal text messages, every email you sent, every social media interaction, and go like, okay, like what's this guy all about? And like, where is he going right now?
Unless you're on a sloped roof in Pennsylvania.
Dude, no one can get on a slope.
Well, a hot day.
For those of you not in construction, all roofs are sloped. Otherwise, it would not be a roof. How to explain this?
What's that, Jake?
So there's 126 flock camera locations in Santa Rosa, but only 16 of them are known.
Oh, interesting.
And they've also have tracked flock employees, because you're going back to the cops that were kind of running their ex-girlfriend or some romantic interest or whatever. They found that flock employees are accessing the cameras inside children's gymnastic rooms, schools, public schools, playgrounds, and stuff like that. They use these to monitor any kind of protest, and then they can aggregate that with your social media. So if you go to the wrong kind of protest, you're protesting the genocide in Gaza, for example, and they can look at your social media, and then through the Pegasus software, and they're like, wow, this guy also bought a bunch of ammo last month. Like, let's take a look at what this guy's up to. Look at that.
This is the map of the entire United States.
Wow, the East Coast is... Oof.
You can zoom in. Santa Clara County has outlawed them. And Santa Cruz. Yeah, look at the East Bay in San Francisco.
Oh, the tech capital of the world has outlawed them?
Well, the county, but I think San Jose has not. But San Jose is a hotbed for this argument right now. I think there's a lot of people going to their city council meetings over and over again to try to outlaw them there. But here's Santa Rosa. This is our town.
And by the way, I want to bring up something because you kind of briefly mentioned the Fourth Amendment. Is because people are saying like, is this even legal for you guys to do this? It's technically, this is completely unconstitutional because there was a debate in the Supreme Court of whether you have a right to privacy when you're out in public. Because there's the way of thinking like, no, you relinquish your Fourth Amendment rights when you go out in public.
Yeah,
and
which
this went to the
is
Supreme
ridiculous.
Court, and then John Roberts, it was Carpenter versus United States, 2018. They were saying like, no, you don't lose your Fourth Amendment rights merely by going into the public sphere. So it was already decided in the Supreme Court, and they're just going like, as they do. Oh, that's adorable.
Right.
Well, that was the whole red light camera thing. That's why they shut those down.
Yeah.
Right. Or I mean, just as simple as like if a cop asks if they can search your car, you can say no.
Yeah.
But not anymore. They don't ask if they can film you every time you drive through an intersection.
Yeah.
No, it's completely unconstitutional, and I'm surprised that it hasn't.
Well,
been
if you're not
challenged
doing
yet.
anything wrong, you don't have anything to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Except for that fucking creep cop that's stalking his girlfriend.
Just falling in love with your wife.
Yeah. It's funny how this comes back to AI over and over again. Did you listen to the recent Tucker Carlson where he was talking about the data center in Utah?
Yes.
The data center that they're building in Utah is
it's insane.
40,000 acres.
Yeah.
It's like 3 times the size of Manhattan.
And
I was up on a property recently the other day, and they had 1,000 acres. And I was looking at it, and it's like you can barely see the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's 1,000 acres. Like, it's really fucking big. They had 40 of those for this data center. Like, I can't even imagine what 40,000
Actually,
acres
there's
is.
something going on. There's a big kind of to do in Lake Tahoe right now.
Oh, right.
Because they're telling Lake Tahoe residents, like, you're going to have to figure out a way to get power to your house because they're rerouting all the lines for a giant data center that they're building in Lake Tahoe.
Dude, if they said that to me tomorrow that PG&E was no longer going to serve my house, I would be fucking amped.
Sounds good to me.
Sweet.
Let me finish. We're still sending you a bill, though.
Right. No, and you can't use gas either.
It's illegal.
All you can use is a fucking windmill on your roof. But the AI part of this is insane because if you think about what it takes to actually be able to surveil every single car that drives by, it's not just a license plate reader, even though they're called ALPRs. That's a misnomer. It's not just a license plate reader.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's not what
They're
it is
looking
now.
at stickers. They're looking at the rust on your vehicle. They're looking at any sort of marking. And they have to be able to store this information and have a computer crawl all over it and like pull out all this little stuff and then save all that. Like the amount of data required to do that is just insane.
Yeah. And that's why I was bringing up the Pegasus software. Is like if they manage, which this is the direction that they're going, because originally, like, well, it's just reading license plates. I was like, well, now it's just reading license plates and having AI establish like a typical behavior for an individual. Now it's just reading license plates and AI is reporting to us like something's going on with this guy. You might want to check it out. Now it's just reading license plates, reporting back to us, and we added facial recognition, and now we added like a microphone. And if they do, or if they did already, if this integrates to the Pegasus stuff, they're like, wow, we can kind of cross-reference kind of everything. We can have this, like, just what Habsora did in Israel. It's like, well, based on this person's, like, social media friends, like, they're probably a terrorist. And human beings are out of the equation. Like I said, there's no recourse. It's like there's no recourse.
Just like the girls that got bombed in Israel. In Iran.
It bombs an entire school, and they're like, "Whoa, it's what the computer decided." You know what I mean? We're kind of relying on this, and they could also, do this where it is reading your license plate, so it knows everywhere you go. And then if they back in that with a Pegasus software, and they're like, "Oh, we also know everything this guy buys," and they could say like, "Wow, look who just bought beer number 3 after work on his way home." Oh, there's a sweet $6,000 for the state or for the city.
It's pre-crime.
Yeah, it's pre-crime.
Yeah, which you drank 2 beers. We know your body weight. We know how much you exercise, and we know how much you drink. So we actually know your blood alcohol content without even testing you.
Right.
And you drove. We know because we saw you drive and we saw your car go there. So we're sending you a DUI in the mail.
Yeah.
Because you were drinking and driving when you were out the other night.
or to its logical extension, arrest you on your way outside of the bar. Like you're just about to get in your car and drive based on this predictive policing.
It is pre-crime.
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
Take a break.
let's take a break, but you have to wait 1 second because I was just pulling up the break music. Someone sent us. So, stalling.
What do you think about like Ring trying to sneak in under this, I believe, facial recognition with their dog finding software?
Oh, it's all totally linked in to the same.
Right, but that's like a total move to.
That's a flock camera just out in people's houses instead of on traffic.
Come on, honey, where's the dog? Animal control put it down. Oh, why?
It's only
was just about to bite someone, I guess.
Exactly. All right, let's take a break.
In blue collar, cause I didn't go to college. I can't work in an office with HR departments. I'd probably get written up for farting. While this job got me shitting behind piles of garbage. Some 2x4s in a rolled up carpet. I just started and my nickname is shit stain retarded. But trust me, if you are the type who no one makes fun of, then it means no one likes you. You're overweight, then your new name is Type 2. Bring Thai food for lunch once, we'll call you Thai dude. Spin it like a typhoon. This job's a roller coaster, and I'm not talking tycoon. If you're getting high on the job, we'll call you High Noon. But you'll probably die soon, like Saigon or Saigon. My mower is a ride-on, alarms I got 5 on. And I ain't going to a job where I need to have a tie on. I'm blue collar, so I'm taking risks. I'm blue collar and I take big shits. I'm blue collar and I'll take your bitch. Making money, I ain't faking rich. Yo, I'm getting stacks, I'm getting paid. Your wife's home, so I'm getting laid. Then I'm right back out there in the dirt. I wear Timbs cause I actually work. Porta Johns where I masterfully jerk. Chug a beer, then I massively burp. 1099's a spiritual practice. I be out here paying minimal taxes. Don't know where the cash is with all this inflation. I be like committing legitimate tax evasion. Say that was work, not vacation. And I'll put a printer in my fresh, newly renovated basement. And I'll say that I never take the night off. I'm blue collar, so everything I buy's a write-off. I'm out here with a light cough. Yo, but if I'm in your yard, you might as well be on wife swap.
Hey, what are we listening to here?
It was something that Doug sent me on Instagram. Are you enjoying it?
It was cool the first pass.
I know, I just kept going.
Dude, I had the weirdest experience yesterday. Is that my wife was working, and my son had a friend from school come over and hang out. And I was like, well, what do you guys want to do? And so we have our local kind of pizza spot. It's like a neighborhood kind of hub. And so I was like, why don't we go I'll get us a pizza. We can hang out. They have like stuff to do for the kids and everything. And so I text this guy who I had met from going down there. Who's like, anytime I'm going to go have a beer with this guy. He's like an older guy, he's retired. Just a super good dude, you know what I mean, way into hunting and stuff like that. And so I was hitting him up, like, hey, I'm heading down to the pizza spot. He lives down the street, and so he always ends up meeting me there. And then, yeah, sorry, Jake, unless you get your ass back here sooner or later, I'm replacing you with a 72-year-old retired concrete contractor. And I go down there, and he's there, and he's just one of those guys that just loves to chat with everyone around him, and he's like one of those kind of magical people that just makes everyone kind of end up hanging out together.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fun. You know? And so we end up, it's me, him, and this other couple, and the kids are off doing their own thing. And we start talking, and they asked me, like, oh, where are you from? I was like, well, I live here in the neighborhood, but I'm from Humboldt County originally. And they're like, oh, we met in college up there, and we lived up there for years. I'm like, oh, no way. Like, I grew up in Ferndale, and they lived in Arcata, went to HSU, and we ended up talking about, I don't know, did you live up there when we had the big earthquakes?
No.
Okay. So we had the big earthquakes, took my parents' house down. I was like, yeah, I remember that. I lost my parents. We separated our family. We had to go live with relatives and all this. And then the husband gets up and goes to the corner store. He's like, I'm going to grab some stuff for dinner. I'll be back. And we're still talking about the earthquakes. She goes, there's this weird thing that happened. I remember we had the second earthquake, so we had 3 of them.
Right.
And I lived on this place called Fickle Hill, and I could see the bay, Humboldt Bay. And the whole sky turned neon green and was looked like a fireworks show. And every time I've told that story, everyone thought I was crazy. And then I eventually started to think that I was crazy. Like I didn't actually see that. And I was like, I saw that too.
Yeah, my uncle talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she went like, you did? You did? You saw it? I was like, yeah.
I'm not crazy.
My buddy took me to Eureka. We went and saw a show because he's like, what do you want to do? I was sleeping at his house. I was like, I just want to like not think about earthquakes and you know what I mean? Like I want to distract myself. So we went to a show and we just happened to be outside the club and we had that other earthquake. I remember everything shaking and everything, and you could see over. You couldn't see Humboldt Bay, but you could see like above it or above the buildings, and it looked like a neon green fireworks show was going on.
My uncle said that he saw that in Ferndale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like in the mist.
I've heard of that. Like it's an aurora borealis type of.
Yeah.
You know, I was dating this chick, and her dad was a San Francisco fire captain and worked at one of the stations. I don't remember which, and he was at the station during, what was it, the Bay Bridge, was that 92? The earthquake during the World Series?
Yeah.
89.
89.
Okay. So he was at the fire station inside the station where they parked the rigs, and he said there was a wave, a visible wave that came through and rippled the concrete floor.
Yeah.
But when it was over, there was no breaks on the concrete floor.
That's what I actually was telling the story. I was driving during the first earthquake, and it knocked my car off the road. And I looked, and I thought wind had knocked my car off the road, and I was seeing fast-moving clouds going down the freeway, and it was actually waves in the freeway.
Yeah.
I had no idea there was an earthquake. I got to my buddy's house. He goes, "You got to get back home. Like the whole town is leveled."
Yeah, but how does concrete or asphalt?
I could see asphalt doing it.
Me too, but not concrete. But he was like, it 100% buckled and rippled, but there wasn't a crack in it when it was over.
Crazy.
Yeah, bizarre.
So anyway, she goes, is there any way you can hang out here until my husband gets back? I don't think he's ever truly believed me. And so he came back. I was like, hey, I saw your wife. Like that.
Man, she is.
Yeah, like, I don't know what her deal is. Well, I was like, no, I saw the exact same thing. He goes, really? I was like, yeah. It's something to do. It's with such a catastrophic movement between the ocean and the
you had a theory?
Phosphorus.
Yeah.
No, she found a documentary. She goes, I think that's what I saw. I was like, yeah, I don't know the exact science of it, but I know it to be like phosphorescence or whatever. Because I've surfed at night before, and you can drag your hand through a wave, and you see all the irradiated plankton.
I don't think that's what it is.
Well, you don't know what it is either.
I don't, but I'm pretty sure it's not that.
You don't know.
You know all the plankton are gay, right?
Of course. So what were you going to say about something?
Oh, so the AI. So here's the thing that I'm actually really, really worried about is because you were talking about the resistance to this flock safety technology. And there's a lot of it. People are not on board. Mm-hmm. Right? I was looking at the meetings, and people are saying like, if you pass this, we will get you out of office. Like the resistance is very strong in this. And when they pitched it to everyone, the pushback on it is pretty. I mean, we have a track record at this point. Like, look, you guys are sloppy. It's immoral. It's unconstitutional. And now it looks like almost anyone can access this data and basically turn the entire world into the Truman Show, which is turning out to be another documentary. And those points are all true, right? But the propaganda selling point of like why we need this technology, much like the Patriot Act in October of 2001, is them saying like, well, this is going to keep you safer. And we're going to get rid of all crime. And they have even rolled out talking points of like, with this predictive policing and these kind of AI-driven algorithms, we can maybe stop like something like a horrific mass shooting or someone about to bomb a church or something, the worst shit that you can think of. And people are still saying like, no, we're not going to do it. And so
the trade-off is not worth it.
Right. Which leads you to believe, which I would assume to be true, is now you have, like we said, this is a 3-letter agency like wet dream. Mm-hmm. So now you have the DHS, the TSA, the CIA, the FBI, and flock all rubbing their hands together saying this, going, we gotta figure out a way to make these people realize that they need this in their life.
Yep.
Which leads me to believe we all might be taking a little trip to Red Flag Island here.
False flag island.
Right.
6 false flags.
Yes. Which that's what really scares me.
Yes, I agree. I think that is...
Which is how they got the Patriot Act passed, which, as a reminder, never went away. They just pumped it full of steroids, and here we are still living under it 25 years later.
Yeah, that's why you have to just be okay with the fact that the ideal amount of crime in a society is not 0.
Yes.
It's just something that we have to live with. And you have to do the best that you can, be the best person that you can be, and not need to live in total safety all the time.
That's why people like us, when we talk about this and we see the track record of these, like institutions of power and what they do and how they achieve their utopia, using my finger quotes there, is these aren't finger quotes, by the way.
Those are jazz hands.
Use my jazz hands on that one. Is, this is why like my hackles go up when I hear like Pete Buttigieg or whatever his name is, it says like, our goal is 0 traffic deaths. I'm like, fucking keep an eye on that guy. Like that is scary shit right there.
Well, that's where they have
most people that don't think about this go like, oh, that'd be great.
The new cars are all going to have kill switches, right? I mean, did we talk about this last week?
And the new cars, they're actually trying this in some states, will monitor you as you walk up to them to see what has your gait changed to what it typically is. Like, are you impaired? Like your car just won't start.
Right, or if you swerve too many times once you hit the road, like you must be impaired, or maybe you swerve to avoid a squirrel in the road, or you do it too many times.
Gets back to what you're saying, and when you pitch this to your typical NPC, and you're like, and they say like, well, that'd be great though if we could get rid of all of this, and the question is like, at what cost though? At what what cost do we achieve those ends?
Kind of makes me think of this thing that Wayne Dyer said one time.
You're always bringing up Wayne Dyer.
You remember Wayne Dyer, right?
Yeah. We got into Mike's van and he had Wayne Dyer cassette.
Yeah.
And it just copped on. The guy's just like, move the mountain, be the mountain. And I was like, what are we listening to?
Well, Wayne Dyer is just a spiritual... like kind of American white guy guru type of guy, right? For those
like
who
a cult
don't
leader.
He just said that.
He's kind of like a who's that guy? Alan
Dershowitz.
That's what I was gonna say.
No,
Alan Thicke, Growing Pains.
Yes, thank you. Anyways, like, say what you will about his whole program, and I know you heard Mike listening to it, but the guy is not, he's not a cult leader. He's not crazy. He has some good things to say. And he said something one time that has stuck with me forever, is that we live in an information age.
Yes.
Right? That is the era that we're in right now. And we have given this godly power, this almost devotion that we have to computers.
Mm-hmm.
That information is the only technological advancement that we've made in the last 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is just this beautiful, powerful information thing. And it's the whole idea of it is to make our lives easier. And you and I complain all the time about our lives being too easy.
Yeah.
That's why people are out of shape. That's why people have depression. That's why people are addicted to things on their phones that are killing them and killing children.
Yes.
It's because we're bowing down and worshiping this information thing we've been just kind of thrown into. And the thing Wayne Dyer said was that we need to move out of the information age and move to the inspiration age. He said, instead of worshiping this form, we should be worshiping spirit, right? And it's so information, form, inspiration, spirit. And that has stuck with me because every time we come into these conversations and we go deep down into the darkest shit that is happening from our government and these 3-letter agencies and all the private corporations that are their whole goal is just to control us, that the solution is actually just to unplug from it. We all need to unplug. We need to go back to 1997 or 1955 or fucking, 1800s. It really doesn't matter. If we all were to just detach from this computerized, financialized world that we live in, we would all be happier. Yes, we would suffer in other ways. We might not be as safe as we are. We might suffer from some diseases that they've figured out how to cure in our modern age. We might be toiling in a field rather than, using modern technology. But
doing data entry under fluorescent lights all day.
Right. But we would be happier.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, it just seems to me like you and I got tired of talking about the Iran war and like the same old thing over and over again. It felt like because what we're missing is the big picture.
Yes. Yeah, part of the reason why I got tired of talking about it, I was experiencing this fatigue like a month ago. I was like, I can't do it anymore. I can't. Like, it's the same thing over and over. Well, at the same time, we're going through Ecclesiastes in church, right? And the kind of the general, chapter 1, there's nothing new under the sun. Life is just a series of cycles. And, is the best way that I've heard it put is like, the rain or the clouds drop the rain on the mountain, water runs down the mountain into the creek goes into the stream goes in the river goes into the lake goes into another river, it goes in the ocean, it evaporates in the cloud, and the cloud puts it back on the mountain. Same thing. And you're all going to die someday. You know what I mean? Yeah. Diego, we were talking about this earlier. It's like your life is so short, like in the bigger picture things. And at the same time, like the same things just keep happening. This was kind of a larger life philosophy. But what popped into my head is like, yeah, and we're bombing Iran. And before that, we bombed Syria and then Yemen. And then Somalia, and then Sudan, and then Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and then, for that it was, the balkanization of Eastern Europe, and then Vietnam, and then, you know what I mean? And no matter how much I want to run outside and scream at the skies of like, this is another illegal war that we're doing, we're killing innocent people, like, it's just going to keep going. So at some point, you just got to go like, you know what, I can only do so much. These things just keep happening, like, over and over and over again. And I still have to go to work Monday.
Somehow we're there.
Somehow we're there.